All right, off to the races. We're gonna be ready to go. As right out of the gate, it's gonna be Maui inside the plane here. The test is gonna be on. We didn't introduce the players either, actually. Maui's gonna be Googie, Van, Zadley, Freeze, and GD and Paradise. On the other side, you're gonna have Poner, Sock, Wopulse, and Storm. Are gonna be your Seattle Sloths for today's matchup. As already.
Yeah, and I mean. Yeah, and fights in the back for P2. Poner trying to hold down those spots. Gets broken for the time being. I mean, both players kind of fighting for these spawns early on with 25 seconds still on the hill. So I guess it's interesting to see how players elect to do this maybe so early, but that first rotation of this P2 is crucial. As gunfights still happen going down this P1, is this scrappy kind of plain hill, goes back and forth. We are going to see, as we rotate here to P2, the early setup going the way of Seattle Sloths. And Poner, like we were saying earlier, has kind of been set up here for like 30 seconds so far, right, as these hills rotate. Really no help for the team just yet, it seems like. Time for the time being going the way of Seattle Sloths.
Yeah, I mean, they did win all those early gunfights, really, as it actually will look like Seattle is going to break into the back here. As, I mean, the gunfights were going absolutely everybody's way. As it is going to be Maui hitting from the front door, but the spawns will remain in favor of Seattle. As actually, 3 are going to go down from Seattle there. They're going to be forced out. It's all going to be on Sock. He's going to drop, as Freeze will pick him up, and that should be a good amount of time here. There's still 25 seconds to go. There's still enough time for a hit from the side of Seattle Sloths, as they are going to hit the front door. Low pulse coming in from the back. And Seattle gave up, what, 5 seconds there, I think, in that break?
Yeah, Seattle gave up those 5 seconds, but at the same time, it's like, they also do have kind of the better setup, in my opinion. The rotation from P2 to P3 here is preferred as you kind of come out of this P2. For me, at least, it's kind of like, obviously that players are going to be looking for you to be rotating, but you're also kind of, if you have that map awareness, should have the ability to anticipate where certain players are being held, as Poner here checking his corners before he floods into P3. And as we say that, they were able to retake this P3 after having gotten the remaining scrap out of P2.
Yep, as you can see, the players from Maui are hitting the point. They do have about a 17-point lead or so right now. That will continue to grow as well. The players from Seattle are going to break through. But right now, Maui is spawning back P2, and for the rotations for the 2 hills coming up, that's not the side of the map that you want to be on. And, I mean, you can see Seattle is just set up all the way in the back there. They're not willing to give up these spawns at all, as we'll keep an eye on Googie Man on the mini-map number 1. He's going to be making his way around the back to see if he wins that gunfight. He will.
That is a huge fight. And that's, they still kind of are getting these P5 spawns, so it's not terrible as far as this next rotation goes. But like you said, they were able to come out of P2, break P3's hold, get the spawns that are better for these later hills. And for the time being, they are winning their early gunfights, as Low does get traded out as nades, and gunfights going back and forth here in the early break. Players split spawning all over the map. And as things are kind of coming to the halfway point on this P4, we are seeing, the scores flip in favor of the Seattle Sloths, as they, were down in the early hills of the map. They do seem to, at least here, be getting more holds as these hills go further on. So it seems like maybe a little bit of a slow start for them is starting to warm up.
I don't know if you were watching that spawn segment that just happened, that came through like about 20 or so seconds ago, where I think Googie Man killed somebody and then spawned top left corner and then moved out, and then somebody from the other team spawned top left corner and killed him, and then someone from Googie's team spawned top left corner and killed that guy. It was just a chain of top left corner spawns that I've never actually seen before, so that was kind of a weird chain of events there. It was kind of unfortunate.
Right, and as Googie kind of, is hoping to hold those back spawns, does then again get taken out, and now the spawn's going the way of the Seattle Sloths still. And now the Chums are in this position where they're forced to break out of this P spot. You'd hope that maybe some of them are trying to get out of this emergency or these windows to kind of pick the players off hill, but it seems like they're just kind of flooding in here. As Poner with a huge 2-piece to kind of, weather the storm, if you will, in this early push. Does get taken out of the wall bang there at a top plane in number 3, which is Freeze. But, the majority of this time is going the way of Seattle, as Storm does get this last push here, and I imagine with SOC in that huge 5-streak, we'll be going, trying to play his life a bit more as he does get taken out, unfortunately.
Down he will go, as we are gonna see. Well, Storm is gonna be moving around the outside here. We'll get kind of caught off guard as a player up back is gonna get dropped. That's gonna be Paradise going down. As you can see, well, I mean, we are back to our first rotation once again. So second set of hills are going to be kicking off. Seattle got a 50-point lead right now as the fights are going down in the back for the spawns. Googie's chasing one. He's going to put shots into Storm there, but he's not going to finish him. The rest of his team is all down, so it's really on just Googie trying to play his life in the back here as the rest of his team's hitting for the front door.
And SOC, there was a bit of a split, it seems odd. I mean, one in Googie, like you said, really doesn't seem to be having much control of these spawns here. The players of Seattle on that top right corner of P2 are kind of in the more demanding positions for those better spawns. It seemed like they just had more players kind of on that type side of the mini map to stack, and that's what gave them those spawns. But as we say that, it seems like the early time is going the way of Chums, where Sloth kind of has all players pushed back in this P2, but they are able to win the gunfights that matter. They do break in this pinch in both sides, and they do have the early time here in this P2.
Yeah, that is gonna be basically everyone from Maui dropping there, as now they have to break through the defensive threat. I mean, this is going to be probably close to a full 60 from Seattle unless these guys have anything to do about it. But Sock is going to pick up 2 huge kills on the point, shut down the push. That's going to be Maui forced to spawn out with 25 seconds to go. You can get maybe one more push in here, but you have to go fast if you're the side of the
right, and it seems like they're just getting these huge 3- and 4-piece pushes here that the Seattle is, and so it's kind of giving them the information they need, and knowing that we're on an entirely top right corner of this map with all 4 of us stacked and all 4 of them dead. They have to be coming out of that P5 spawn. And, for the time being, they were. And the early setup here, Freeze with a huge 2-piece. You just hope that his teams helps him collapse here, as he is able to get another one for third, and does get taken out, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, Gogi is going to be here in the next up, so the team support is going to come in from the Maui Chums. Sock is going to go down again. I think he's died like some 3 times in a row consecutively on our screen here. As the push is going to come in, the fight will be here. Gogi trying to stay alive, is spraying, has no idea where the guy is, but the teammate will help him out. And that's going to be a good amount of time here, kind of going the way of Maui, hopefully, as they're trying to stay alive. And the point, they will. Zadley with a huge kill inside the hill. So the last 20 or so seconds here should be going to the Maui Chums, because I don't think Seattle will challenge this.
Yeah, and I do want to point out, obviously Seattle is outslaying a bit, as we say that loose pulse, low pulse does get on a 5-streak of his own. But I do want to point out that although negative, Zadley is doing a great job as this main objective sub in the hill. Soaked up a little bit over a minute, which is more than most of the players on Seattle, and between him and Freeze combined, they do still have a fighting chance here, I'd say, as they were able to get a decent hold at its P4. So if they can just break this here, I'd imagine they'd really soak up a little bit more time here before we get to this last hill rotation.
Low Pulse has picked up streaks, actually, and Sock is on a 5 of his own, so both of these players kind of looking here to get streaked out. Low Pulse is going to secure streaks, and right now, I mean, Maui hasn't touched this P4. P4 is a relatively 50-50 split hill, actually, and I'm pretty sure most players would agree on that given its positioning, but they just can't get near it.
Yeah, and they are trying to do a good job here of getting some mid pushes, but it just seems like Seattle has their number. As we say that, with 10 seconds clicking down, we do have a fight in the back, 2 and 5, and it does look like it's going to go the way of number 2 with Zadley. So there's a huge kill open up. There's 2 players of Seattle Sloths that are pushing out those spawns as well. So if he gets jumped here in a 2v1 situation, which he does, the spawns we'd imagine are going to be going the way of Sloths as those players start to drop. There's number 5 gets taken out from behind. Number 8 is going to be playing this corner Storm. They have this early setup here. Don't forget about number 1 on your map. That's Googie. Googie's going to get a flank here. He's going to be looking right into wood. I think he sees one. He knows that one's there. Does he catch the other one on the stairs? He does, and there's another player who's going to be pinching it from behind, and he gets taken out, unfortunately. So the spawns in the setup here still the side of Seattle Sloth with 25 seconds to go. They can win off this hill here.
Yeah, I mean, right now they've stretched out to a 100-point lead as they've just strung like hills 4 and 5 together for what's essentially an 80-point swing right now. As you're going to see Maui desperately trying to get in. The streaks are going to come flying through from Seattle. There's only 5 seconds needed as the players from Maui are all going to go down. No one's going to be close enough to the hill here. And that is going to be Seattle Sloths taking your first map, 139 to 250.
And that, what started out as a pretty scrappy game, it seemed like in the beginning. After that first rotation of hills, Maui Chums didn't get more than another 50, I believe, total. So that second round of hills is, went entirely the way of Seattle Sloths. There we go. All right, so starting off here, we have SOC. Are we calling him Sock? Is this man playing barefoot?
Honestly, I have no idea.
First of all, I want to shout out to the developers. This layout of remaining lives and attack and defending is awesome. This update for Codcast, I'm really loving that. So as we say, that Sock, the 2 players pushing up with purple, and we wonder if that stairs jump delayed SOC a bit. He was able to get to 2, so it didn't seem like they take it out immediately there from Paradise on the back. So it is going to be a 2v2 as this early push of both teams kind of trading out their kills has caused more of a B-heavy setup for both teams here early on in the round.
Yep, it's going to be Storm with the bomb is actually still up on the stairs there, and it's not really being watched by the player in the back. It's going to be Paradise. He is going to go down, though. It's now going to be Googie Man from up top. He's going to spot Storm. He'll pick up 1, and is going to pick up a 74U and just kind of get out of dodge here. Has no idea where this player is, though. Poner is going to wrap all the way around the back, but he doesn't have the bomb here. But, I mean, if you're a Googie Man, you have no idea that the bomb is down, and he's going to be wrapping through the garage here. Is going to catch Poner, actually spotted him. The shots go out.
Oh, shoot, a little early.
And actually just hit the wall in front of his face here as he's going to continue to back up. There's only 14 seconds to go, so a decision has to be made. Googie Man should have just spotted him there. Poner has no idea where he is. Poner has no idea.
Oh, Googie has to stay
alive. He is going to duck down.
He does. 1 second left. Does he get traded out? No. What a wild cat and mouse to start the search.
That was absolutely ridiculous there. As apologies for the lag as I have to flip out briefly. But like, just that whole sequence of running around and it was like, oh, he sees me, he doesn't sees me, he sees me, might have seen him. Like, oh my goodness. That was, I mean, it's kind of fantastic job from Googie there, staying alive. But oh my goodness.
And for anyone who doesn't, who maybe this is your first time seeing competitive play or really any COD with Codcaster, the players cannot see what we see, right? So we're seeing the outlines and exactly where these players are. As far as these two could tell, they're kind of chasing each other's tail the entire time, which is exactly what we saw. So back in this round, neither player is down. Zadley is going to be on that outskirts of Doc. The life advantage going the way of Seattle Sloths as Powers does take out 1. Number 5 on your screen, Zadley, I'm not sure if they're maybe opting to rotate here as one of their players already taken out. This is kind of the play that I was saying earlier, waiting for this push, trying to get the life advantage back as players do continue to push out. SOC getting 1 as well. Zadley kind of, he's trapped back here. Doc does get pushed out. And managed to get the kill taken out in the trade. Seattle Sloths, I think they played just confidently. I think as soon as that first blood came through, they knew that they had the number advantage early on.
Yeah, I mean, that was just kind of a surgical round, honestly, out of Seattle, as they just kind of picked apart the push. And then at the point, I mean, when you were mentioning, it was like they're looking for the rotate. At that point, it was too late. The flank from Low Pulse came in so fast that they literally just had no time to even like think about it. And by the time they got to the end of the dock, they turned to look behind them, and there's a player there, and it's like, oh, all right, guess that's out of the question. Now you can't do that anymore.
Right, which is so tough, right? Because at what point do you decide to make that full rotation with really only knowing where 1 player was after that first blood? But it does see that we do have a split here, which is, always interesting to see, and hope that, teams are ready to rotate when needed. We do see the A push going from the offensive side of Seattle Sloths. Says, I'm not sure if Zadley, if he's not called out, he is now, gets taken out by Low. That is going to be a tough gunfight for that sub against the AR in that range. Googie if he was able to take him out there, I would have rage quit stream. Yeah.
I mean, the push is coming through. Googie's going to be up in that top window, and Freeze has rotated. You're going to see in the mid-map as well. GDN is moving across as well. Storm is going to get to the bomb. Should get this bomb down, actually. As we're going to have Low Pulse will get taken out on the outside. The bomb will go down, so it's a 3v3 retake scenario. As the trades are coming through, we're in a 2v2 now. As well, Sock's going to pick one up. It's going to be Freeze now in the 1v2 with the bomb defuse as well in front of him. He's going to find Poner, and we're in a 1v1. 25 seconds to go, so still plenty of time.
I think that, you know, SOC, he should see the angle on this bomb is what it feels like is happening here. Yeah. So, you know, communication with the team to know exactly what they're planting for, and wow, if he can beam him from here, oh man, he could not. That's a spot I think that, you know, anyone watching can definitely learn from. If you see the bomb there, maybe immediately check that elbow position. You know, before I realized that's what the plan was, I was confused at first, right? Why SOC would be so confident sitting behind. But that obviously, back. Yeah, exactly. But that, I mean, at the end of the day, that's textbook COD, right? Play your angles, play your strat plans.
100%. I mean, I remember seeing that in, I think it was the first week of Challengers, of the Challengers Cup or whatever. The very first one. And then, like, that was literally just the strat on Miami, is if you can get to the A bomb site, you plant, and you have a sniper sit driveway, and he just stares at the bomb, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's, like, you can literally do nothing about it because he's all the way back there with the sniper and you can't even chow it. As Low Pulse won't get spotted here, will finally get spotted, is going to eat some shots, and is going to get dropped. Zadwi will pick him up from the side. The first blood to Maui. They're making this A hit, and the rotation hasn't come through from Seattle yet.
Which is, you know, may set Zadley up for in a position here to get one and plant quickly, if possible. Storm is doing this, you know, putting some pressure on and pushing through, as SOC is set up above him, so they're kind of trying to bait them out a bit, trying to run around and see if they can find where they are. And, you know, Paradise now is called out as SOC on the rotation, looking for that player who does get the trade. And so for the time being, this late in the round, bomb looks like it's going down onto, as you said, no, actually Zadley is taken out, so bomb is down on A, although Maui Chums does have the advantage in life. So Poner able to get one. Oh gosh, I cast it too early. In a gunfight that he should have won, did not close it out, and the round going the way of, was that Seattle Sloths? No, going the way of Maui Chums. Into round 5, we are on board here with Low Pulse. The bomb carrier, it seems like, for Seattle Sloths the rest of these rounds. I do want to point out SOC, somebody in chat, please let me know if he is pronouncing that as Sock, is at the early advantage. He's up 8-2 in kills for the team. The early setup is going to be in this B building for both teams, it looks like, as the advantage is going to, for the time being, go the way of Seattle Sloths in a 4-3. We do have players moving through this garage. It looks like Zadley is in this corner underneath stairs. Storms does know where he's at, as Poner is able to take him out from the angle. Low Pulse is taken out as well by Paradise, and now players do know that there is one back in this back driveway, as SOC does take him out as well. So in a 3v1, Boogeyman, the last alive, does take out one of the top purple. So now bomb should be going down. I imagine Storm is doing such, yeah, and players now know where this last player in Boogeyman is going to be. It's just a matter now of trying to get an idea of if he's going to be pushing through garage, and so players here are just playing slow, playing that bomb, peeking their angles, playing their bomb checks as Boogeyman elects to go through this bottom hotel. Actually, he's going to go through back. Get the timing here on the first player, he does, and so Boogeyman, I'm speechless in this push, honestly. I'm sorry, you guys. Boogeyman is looking for the last one again, number 3. Poner is going to be playing that bomb check. He does see the player go up to top purple, and so, you know, not enough time now for Boogeyman to defuse. So, you know, played really well by Seattle Sloths there. They do get that 5th round and go up 3-2. It was, you know, interesting to see the way that Gugaman kind of worked through how he was going to retake in that 1v2. Obviously, we saw a little bit of him playing a flank role and pushing around often in that hard point, so he elects to do that and kind of sneak through mid here. And we can see if Maui Chums are able to respond as we start off on low pulse. Again, they decide to do this split setup on the S&D. We talked a little bit about the sniper being something that was used in challengers, and I bet he wished he had one here. Is this boat position crucial for that power position play? Two players know that he's gone every round. Pulse, again, should not have won that gunfight, but he manages to clean up one before getting traded. SOC knows that player is going to be in that front side of beach in that A push. No information yet on the B side as he does start to sneak out and gets taken out by Storm on the stairs. So for the time being, there is a 3 versus 2 advantage here on the side of Seattle Sloths. SOC continuing to go off and getting kills for his team. 9-3 currently. SOC, this is the spot I'm talking about. Jump up and get the kill. Oh, he can't do it. Freeze takes him out, and that trade is perfect and crucial for the way that this round has been played out. Unfortunately, in the 1v2 position, although players of the Seattle Sloths are rotating here from B, it seems like, and they know that this player is here. They likely just heard bomb get picked up and know that he's planting in Storm. Waiting, exactly doing what he needs to do to clean up that last player, and just waiting for that bomb to be picked up. Closes out the round for Seattle Sloths, and they go up 4-2.
Yeah, I mean, look at the scoreboard right now. You have SOC at 10-4, absolutely going off and really just finding critical kills all throughout the map. As, I mean, that push was kind of halted literally just by one player sitting on the boat, and then they just kind of got held up over the course of that entire round as well. You're going to have number 7. Look at where he's going to go all the way in the back. This push is coming full A from the side of Seattle Sloths. We're going to see his little shots are going to go out. Zadley will get kind of tagged up. That's going to be SOC on top balcony. We're going to see, what does Googie see? You should see basically all the players, honestly, at this point. Everyone should be sort of poked out. He does see Poner. Shots are going to go down. But oh boy, here we go. Yeah, they're just trying to stay alive, but he's going to hold him up.
Although we have 2 players who put some shots into Googie, we still have the majority of Seattle Sloths staying on B, maybe anticipated mid. It's a slow push from the Maui Chums, or I'm sorry, from Storm. Does start to come through to this A-bomb. Poner is taken out, and the first blood going the way of Maui Chums, and that trade kind of coming through. So back and forth we go, down to a 2 versus 1 situation for Pulse. Post is able to get the bomb down, but is Paradise able to see him come off the bomb? Freeze does, at least. So Freeze, good job kind of playing those angles. Both players playing the bomb that they anticipate that player to be planting, considering the entire round kind of forced for that play. And they are able to close it out here in the round 7, up 5-2. So for me, I think that there has to be a bit of a momentum shift here for Maui Chums if they want to have a chance, a fighting chance here, and coming back and taking the map. A bit of a slow start here as we transition out of that hard point. But anything is possible, 1 round at a time. We will see how these things go as the map progresses.
Yep, apologies, sorting a couple things out here as we are going to be back in.
And I apologize, it is a 4-3, not a 5-2. So Chum's still in this. They're not far down in this round. Cup Pulse has gone here every round, though, as players for the side of Maui Chums are flooding this B spot. So they do have the life advantage. So I guess him being out that way doesn't really matter so much. The last player in the back alley does pick up Chums. So to a 5-3 we go, round 9.
I mean, Storm there just came in with a big 2-piece in bottom. Piano here as he picks up 1 and gets Freeze as well. As just, I mean, just the timing really on that flank was just so well done. So fantastic job there.
And it's those huge kind of breakthrough opening plays that have kind of been going the way of Seattle Sloths this entire map. I want to point out there's two players who there's only two players that are really doing the majority of the work for the Seattle Sloths. Things a bit more spread out on the side of Chums, and as we say that, maybe we can see hopefully that Chums gets the first blood here as Paradise in a good position to do so. Knows that there's a trophy down, probably calling out to that team that there's some information, as likely he had heard that, or at least that he has gotten stunned and that there's some information there. Pulse does get some bullets into him. Likely the trophy is going to be taking out that tactical, as it does not get the life of any of the players on Seattle Sloths. And this break here does take out Doogie on the top of Purple, as players for Seattle are actually doing a bit more of a flank roll here, and later in the round, Pulse doing what he can to kind of catch some of these players off guards, as he does get called out and taken out here in the middle of the street, down to a 2-2 here late in the round.
Yep, as well, Poner is going to be trying to move. The bomb is stuck now in the middle of the street, actually, because Low Pulse went down with it. It's now going to be Freeze now in the 1v2, as the players do have to get to the bomb, though. 20 seconds to go, and the Seattle players have no ideas. Actually, one's going to hop the wall. That's going to be Poner. He's going to hop right over. And now it's going to be Storm versus Freeze in the 1v1. Storm is going to just run for the bomb. He's got 10 seconds. He has to get to a bomb site. Freeze is going to check B, realizes he's not here. He's going to have to go right to A. There you go, bomb will go down. Storm is going to get out, though, and he's going to get into a great post-plant situation here.
Yeah, and I think that Freeze was expecting, before I say this, let's see if this 1v1 kind of goes down. So I think that Freeze was expecting Storm to kind of push through and watch the rotation immediately, so he kind of waited on rotating, but it does seem like it's going to work out in his favor as the timing going the way of Freeze. They're still in this, and these are kind of the momentum rounds that we were talking about, right? Like, that 1v1 is huge. Freeze is starting to get warmed up. He's 12-6 now. I think that was an ace, if I'm not mistaken.
I lost track of what the kills were at the beginning of the round. Possibly.
I think that he was 8-3.
He was starting the beginning kills.
I believe he was 8-6. I'm not positive though. So again, they are starting to kind of go off here, and they do have offense on this round is the only thing. So they kind of have to fight back. The good news is that if they win that, and they end up winning the round, they're getting a good amount of kills. They are still in contention for those defensive side of spawns. However, they would need all 4 kills and other players to stay up in order for that to happen. So I guess we'll see how things work out.
So we're gonna have, it's gonna be Low Pulse actually pushed up very far forward here. As you can see, Maui just kind of spread in this defensive hold all across the A side. That's going to give, Seattle plenty of time. And the map control they've got right now from Low Pulse's position tells them a fair bit, although they haven't pushed out B, so they don't know exactly what's happening. As Low Pulse is going to catch one. That's going to be Zadley going down. He'll get away, so the trade won't be there either. And he's still here.
He's here, and there's no information from Purple at Storm. There's no information here on the cross from Pulse, and Googie doing, sneaking around. It seems like he does that better than anyone here on the map. Still playing for information mid, as I imagine if he decides to elect to run out here, unfortunately likely going to get taken out now that he's showed himself. Yeah, Pulse does push up and get the kill. A 1 versus 4 situation here for Freeze, and he cannot close it out. So Seattle Sloths do take map 2, 6-4, and they're up 2 maps here in this first series.
Yep, Low Pulse coming in with the big play. Honestly, just the fact that he stayed alive here so long and then picks up the 3K on top of that was just incredible. His patience. We are going to be underway with the control. Going to be 2 map lead here for the Seattle Sloths as we're off the rip.
All right, in Paradise, the side of Maui Chums with the early control of this hill. He's the only person in that plane for them, unfortunately. So if he does go down, there's no trade. However, players of the Seattle Sloths are going to be stacking this A hill, so they already have a tick in. Players now realizing that they have to rotate. Only 1 player taken out as 2 players now. Zadley able to take out 2 on the hill is going to be ticking up the rest of this time, and they are able to get A so quick in this round, and they're up lives. So I think this is the kind of the momentum that we're hoping for, right? And so, and Zadley doing exactly what we were anticipating this team to do, is pushing out spawns. He's kind of being a nuisance here. Number 8 does not know that he's back there. He's certainly called out now. As 6 comes off spawns, and 5 and 6 are going to be pinching. He's able to get into wood, and right now I think he's stressed, right? He's like, he knows they're coming off spawn, and he's taking out.
I think I have a visual glitch going on, because I'm pretty sure the light from the roof shouldn't be orange and blue like what you're seeing on screen right now.
Oh, I'm colorblind. This is perfectly fine. We're rocking with it.
That's kind of
Let's get it.
It's like a very red and orange glow from the ceiling. So I don't really want to free cam and look up because I'm kind of worried about what I'm going to see. But this is a double stack on a B already. This is going to be a first tick. That's going to be first one that's going to come through. And a second tick is already halfway complete. So Maui with the offensive round of a dream right now, as Low Pulse will come in and clean it up. So they won't secure that second tick. But, I mean, right now, there's a minute and 38 to go. Seattle's down 4 lives. This is not what we were expecting, given the last couple maps, honestly.
And there's no effort to tick down this time. So they were able to get that second tick. They have halfway through the third. SOC, huge gunfight for him. He does take down some of the time again. I would love to see maybe that trade happen and that they take down some of this time so they can kind of get themselves in position to set up for these pushes. But, I mean, they are doing a good job here of getting control back of the hill as Paradise nearly gets the second. And here we do need to see a huge coordinated play on by the Maui Chums to kind of fight their way out of their spawn here.
Yep, I mean, there's only 1 tick left on B here from the Seattle Sloths. As you're going to see, Maui is going to be mounting up for an attack. Zadui's going to come through. That's going to be 2 down for Seattle right out of the gate. It's going to be all on Storm really here. He's going to pick one up from the pistol and stay alive, so the push will be held off. But you are going to see the push coming in. Freeze will pick up another pair of kills. He's 7 and 3 right now, so doing a great job, just kind of like anchoring down up top. He's going to pick up, well, there's still Storm. There's going to be one more. It'll be Poner inside the hill. He's going to get away. Time is slowly beginning to tick down, but Seattle's running out of lives here.
I was just going to comment on the fact that they've been up, Maui Chums has been up about 3 or 4 lives this entire second half of, you know, as play started to slow on this B hill. I would have loved to see them slow it down a bit more and play for more coordinated pushes, but as we say that, they are still up in 5-3, and so spawns have stopped coming in. Players know now that they're only looking for 3 instead of fighting against the 4th, and SOC is going to be getting, you know, calling out 1 in that pinch in office. So a back and forth play here is now the life advantage is only by 1. So this ended up being a lot closer of a round than I think that we anticipated, as players still flooding this hill. SOC is looking for 1 and gets taken out, and Chums managed to close it out and take the first round. This is, for an offensive win to start the map that you need to secure, that's got to feel good for these guys.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a checkmate offensive round win too. You don't really win those very often. So, I mean, great job there. As we are going to see that, yeah, picking up the kills in the hill. And we'll get the cap as well, I'm pretty sure, to end that one off. As we are going to switch sides. This is going to be Seattle now on the attack. And we're going to see if they can replicate it.
Yeah, so I mean, that entire time, gunfight's just largely going the way of Maui Chums. You see the split here. Obviously, they won it off lives, and so they're only slightly up in lives. We do want to shout out Zadley, who had a number of 2 pieces here, especially on this A lane. We have Low Pulse getting the first 2 and 3 down now for the side of Seattle Sloths. Immediately, players coming off spawn, and Googly, only person here gets taken out by Pulse, so that's got to be 4 down. All players coming off the spawns. They do elect to kind of, they may likely be chopping this A hill, honestly, and waiting for rotations to come in, as a team kill does not help the cause there, unfortunately. And A is going to be getting capped, certainly here, by Seattle Sloths. Now players of Sloths are going to try to push out spawns. They have 3 players now who are doing just that. They have 1, number 6, who's going to be positioning himself here to be a bit sneaky, and we see if number 2 does look for him. So, you know, Paradise does look for that kind of cheeky crate stairs spot. Opens things up a bit for them, as unfortunately he's taken out, and 3 players down on the side of Chums. Quickly, this is going the way of Seattle Sloths, as now they know that they just have to, you know, wait for 1 more push of players before this B is locked down. Only 1 tick so far. So Chums have done a good job of kind of getting, control back on this, but Sloths are ahead 5 lives.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big swing from the last round too. I mean, it's basically just Seattle doing the exact same thing that was done for them. They're up 4 lives. Now going to be 3 here. Zadwi still on the point. 2 ticks still necessary as 3 players from Seattle are going to be coming off spawn. They're going to lose the plane player as well as Poner will go down. And the lives are inching closer and closer here right now as the push is coming in from Seattle.
Yeah, you did see a solid hold here for Chums, but unfortunately that one player got taken out of plane. Number 3 does decide to push out and try to flank behind 1, and Zadley is still being a nuisance back there in that crate Tetris spot. He's waiting for players to kind of cross through this Tetris side, and likely he's going to be able to hear players passing above him on plane, and he's going to be able to have some information there. But number 6 is a huge gunfight he's waiting for. He does not close it out, so still we see Chums doing a good job of holding down some of these pushes off spawns, and they're only down 2 lives as we head into the end of this round. So I feel like there's still certainly a fighting chance for a defensive one here as well.
I mean, I feel like guys have just woken up on the Maui Chums side. Zadley is currently 17-10. So doing a great job here as the Seattle players seem to be regrouping and just kind of going around the other side of the map as they're just kind of moving out here, trying to figure out what they're going to do, but they're just getting cut down, and the live count is now just 1 life difference. There's 18 seconds to go. Seattle's running out of time here.
And I'm speechless, just honestly, at how close these rounds have been so far in the life count. This is certainly, 2 teams that play well together, and as you say, that no more spawns coming out of the side of Maui Chums as they're down 2 lives, as the stack is coming through for Sloths. The one player jumped off. They would have been able to get it if he had stayed, but the contest of Paradise comes through, and he does get the kill. 3 dead now on the side of Sloths. One trade coming out of SOC, and 2, the back and forth gameplay. It is going to be Zadley in a 1v3, and can he close this out? No, unfortunately, he gets cut down, and that is a 1-1 round count in this control. I'm just loving how close these rounds are, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally like a 1v2. This is both offensive round now, have gone to the offensive side. And, it ends on a 1v2 in both rounds as Zadwi just couldn't find the players there on the point. The Sloths just had so little time, but then they still clutch up. So there you go, offensive round to each side. As we're going to go into round 3, it's going to be Maui. I mean, this is supposed to be a defensive-sided map. That doesn't seem to really be what's going on here right now.
Would you mind hopping on Sock? He's on a 4 streak currently. Piece something together here and get his streaks, as he does take out Googie in 1, and so that's a 5. Zadley does know that he's here. He's going to elect to play the angle, throws a trophy down, so SOC has to know that he's there. He flies out at him. He does not get the kill. Zadley, excellent job of killing him off streaks. And gets the next one as well. He should not have won that. He turns around. Is Storm ready for him? The pre-fire comes in, and the team helps him. They are stacking this. One more player will certainly close out the hill on these 3 ticks, and both teams doing a great job of closing down this A hill so early in the round. 3 dead on Sloths, and Chums again bringing so much life back to these early rounds.
Again, you just have an early cap going the way of Maui, and they have so much map control right now too. Zadley's just frying the guys in the back. Seattle has to get a dedicated push to get over here. Zadley still hasn't died yet. He's on a 7 spree, fully streaked out on top of this. As he's looking for Storm in the back, as having to pick that one up. Zadley is just absolutely going off right now. Basically, if you're Maui, you gotta hop a couple players in here. Zadley is doing everything and then some in the back, and you guys are still not capped at this point, as they're gonna hop 2 players finally. But after 2 close rounds, this was domination here by Maui. As holy crap.
Oh my gosh, dude. I want to point out that Zadley had a 0 kill streak in the beginning of this round, right? So at a certain point they were up 10 lives and that was entirely Zadley's 9 streak. So huge plays out of Zadley, pushes out these spawns, gets the spawn traps that we love to see out of these AR players. Coming into this 3rd round with this 4th round here on defense, sorry, with all the momentum they need, hopefully, to translate to a defensive win. And like we were saying before, that's 3 offensive wins in a row now. As the early push going, you know, as we're on with Googie, 10 and 18 himself. He desperately needs here to get some of these intro kills, as again players look like they're collapsing on him. 2 dead on the side of Chums, and that 3 stack is likely going to come through. And again, it looks like 2 and a quick 3 ticks here on this A spot, and that is 4 rounds in a row now where that A position has been secured within the first minute of the round.
Those are some nice shots there from Low Pulse, as he's gonna basically just beat the Zadley of this round, as he's gonna be wandering into the back here, making a mess in the back.
And he elects to stay in that same lane. He gets an 8th of his own, so he's gonna get a streak too as well. A streak start to come out likely later in this round, I imagine, as you know, Sloths do have to stay in this. At what point does he decide to use them? That's still up for question. But we'll kind of see if we stay. We have one coming from the side of Chums, it sounds like. Low, I think it's smart here to just be a nuisance in the spawn and kind of maybe save the streaks for when he comes off spawn. I imagine at this point when he comes off spawn, he's likely to call in some of those streaks, as his team is down 9 lives, 10 lives heading into the end of this round.
Yeah, that was a Hellstorm coming out of Zadley there. So that is going to be 1 streak burned on the side of the Maui Chums. Seattle should still have both, as Low Pulse has both the Hellstorm and the artillery left here. I mean, it's pretty dominant as well. This is a 12 life lead here for Seattle. So, I mean, this is just back and forth, back and forth.
You have to wonder with the players of Maui Chums coming off spawn that they would, you know, utilize those streaks to maybe spawn trap, but that this is the place to use them on this side of the map, with the ceiling being as open as it is on this wood side. But players, you know, Sloths deciding to save those streaks and just stack the point. If they can use it in round 5, that's gonna be huge for them, as Pulse slides out, gets 1, gets traded immediately by Zadley, and 3 dead. Maui Chums with 4 dead.
Soccer,
trading this out.
Picked up 2. So that actually, I mean, it's a 3v16 now. Sock with a big 2-piece right before dying there, as it's now going to be 2, and this round is going to go the way of Seattle unless a miracle shows up. There's a minute to go. I don't see Maui surviving for a whole minute, as it's now just going to be GDN last alive. Just trying. Honestly, at this point, you almost want to die earlier, because I feel like it's an advantage to be on offense.
Yeah, certainly. And like we were saying, right, the streaks didn't come through because I feel like they saw how far ahead they were in the life count. They were like, we'll just save them and, you know, use them in the round 5 if it's close. But you know, standout plays here from Low Post, deciding to use the same route for spawn traps as Zadley did in the round prior, and so that seemed to work really well for both teams. I do want to point out we have Zadley went off 36 and 21, and 2 players of Seattle Sloths have just hit 30, as Low Pulse and SOC doing what they can to kind of put the team on their back and stay in this this control. This is, you know, as close as it can be in these last 2 maps, and the early kills going the way of Seattle Sloths, as Low Pulse does get Zadley, and 2 on the plane. Sorry, I thought that freeze might have been taken out there. He does.
There he goes.
So he drops.
Finally slides out there, picks up both players. So the early A push is kind of being stalled out here, as Seattle is going to jump up to an early 3-life lead, as all 3 just domes his teammates and then gets domed for his troubles. That's a bit of an unfortunate lineup there, but I mean, right now Maui just doesn't have the map control that they were showing previously.
And number 8, he kind of managed to sneak by in this Tetris side of the bottom right side of the map, so he's in a good position here for spawn trap. And that's Storm, and Storm is still, you know, I don't believe that any players know that he's here. It looks like Zadley's expecting the spawn trap, but he hasn't made a push to the Tetris side. I anticipate, you know, Storm still being a nuisance here, and he is going to get this kill. Oh, he should not have won that with the way that Zadley was as weak as he was. Zadley going off, expecting players that are stacked on A to be within the range of that cross position. Close here. only 5 down for the side of Maui, and they were able to control this A position. So you can kind of anticipate that maybe the more back and forth kind of scrappy play is going to be coming through here at the second half of this round.
Definitely, and I think one thing to note too is that Seattle Sloths at one point did have an 11 life lead. Maui is slowly closing this. They did cap A, so not the same incredible like early round that they had before. Oh, Storm freeze with the turn there as Low Pulse is going to call in a cruise missile. Is going to find 2. 3 will go down for Maui actually, and that push will get halted as Zadley, only player on the map now really in a position up front.
Right, and Low Pulse just breaking that 45, nearly 45 EKIA in this round. So, as we say that, he breaks 46 on a 5-kill streak of his own. 47. Can he get to 50? I want to see 50 as 9 players remain for the side of Maui Chums. 17 on the side of Sloths. So really a margin of twice the amount of players remaining for the side of Sloths. It looks like they are just controlling the pacing of this game. SOC 2 of his own. Googie is managing to fend off these pushes before he gets taken out. Pulse again. 49 is the 1v1 that he needs to get the 50. He wants it badly too. He's waiting for this play. Freeze anticipating. He's playing his streak. He walked right past him. As Sloths take the round 5, and I believe he did get it. Did he get the 50 bomb?
Honestly, couldn't tell you. I'd have to go back and look at the VOD afterwards because we don't see a scoreboard at the end of the match. But honestly, it was like, it's been dominant, absolutely dominant play, honestly, from the offensive side for all 4 rounds. And then this one round,